Desert heat is clawing at the curtains of the suite. My memory is a puzzle spilled across the rumpled sheet. There is a bitter copper taste of sins I cannot quite recall. Just the phantom shape of strangers leaning hard against the wall. The ceiling fan is spinning like a losing plastic wheel. The morning sun is sharp enough to cut through polished steel. Sin City hangover blues. The carpet smells of spilled champagne and expensive cheap perfume, while the ghost of last night's laughter rattles in this hollow room. Sin City hangover blues. Sin City hangover blues. The carpet smells of spilled champagne and expensive cheap perfume, while the ghost of last night's laughter rattles in this hollow room. Sin City hangover blues. Girls with painted eyelids have their names upon the glass, trading temporary mercy for the hours as they pass. We dove into their chemical and thought that we could swim, until the lights went black and left us trembling on the rim. Now the mirror shows a fugitive with red and heavy eyes, a man who sold his conscience for a carnival of lies. I find a stack of colored chips hidden in my shoe, a souvenir of every reckless thing we chose to do. The elevator hums a song of sorrow and regret for the things the heart remembers but the brain wants to forget. The strip is just a graveyard where the winners go to die, but beneath the cold indifference of a vast and vacant sky, this hollow crown of lightning burns a hole inside my head. I'm walking through the wreckage of the lives that we have led. The desert wind is calling for the debts we left behind, searching for a flicker in the basement of my mind. Now the glitter turns to gravel and the gold begins to rust. Everything we worshipped is just a fistful of the dust. Sin City hangover blues. The carpet smells of spilled champagne and expensive cheap perfume, while the ghost of last night's laughter rattles in this hollow room. Sin City hangover blues.
scratching on my heels. I like the way the spinning table feels. The taxi driver took the long way down to reach the gilded center of the town. We parked our heavy shadows at the gate, decided that the hour was getting late. But time is just a trick of yellow light when everybody's looking for a fight. Oh, the canyon walls are paved in lucky glass, watching all the losing shadows pass. We're shaking hands with fate and drinking deep, while all the honest people are asleep. Oh, viva Las Vegas. Your tie is crooked and your eyes are blurred. I can't remember one specific word. The waitress laughed and brought another round. We're high above the solid rocky ground. The cards are falling like a summer rain to wash away the worry and the pain. I found $1 in my jacket sleeve, enough to make a weary soul believe. Oh, the canyon walls are paved in lucky glass, watching all the losing shadows pass. We're shaking hands with fate and drinking beef, while all the honest people are asleep. Oh, viva Las Vegas. The sun will find us leaning on the wall, waiting for the morning sky to fall. But for a moment we were kings of chance, caught inside a frantic midnight dance. Oh, the canyon walls are paved in lucky glass, watching all the youthful shadows pass. We're shaking hands with fate and drinking deep, while all the honest people are asleep. Oh, the canyon walls are paved in lucky glass, watching all the losing shadows pass. We're shaking Vegas. Oh, viva Las 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 Vegas. Desert air is hungry for a gamble. The dust settles on the black velvet carpet. 4 kings looking for a kingdom to borrow, while the oxygen flows through a hidden pipe. Gold teeth reflecting the green felt table. A heavy hand drops a stack of heavy plastic. The clock on the wall has been dead for decades, but the pulse of the carpet
never skips a beat. High stakes under the fake romance ceiling. The wheel spins like a planet out of orbit, losing track of the sunrise and the red money, trading a lifetime for a 3-minute high. The house always has the coldest shoulders, a fountain of coins drying up in the heat. The cards are dealt by a man with no shadow, and the jack is laughing at the empty street. Sequins falling off the tires' shoulders. The limousine is leaking oil on the strip. Promises made to a glass of warm tonic, buried in the sand before the morning shift. Every bribe bulb is a small invitation to forget the name you carried yesterday. The carpet is stained with the sweat of the desperate, and the winners are already heading west. The dice are heavy as lead in your palm. The lights are screaming a silent song. Distance between the wind and the wall is shrinking down to nothing at all. High stakes under the flayed romance ceiling. The wheel spins like a planet out of orbit, losing track of the sunrise and the red money, trading a lifetime for a 3-minute high. The discipline is biting at the windows of this rented limousine. Your white legs fell as crooked and my eyes are swimming deep in kerosene. We stumbled off the boulevard where the flashing signs lead into the sand, holding on to promises that neither of us fully understand. The engine is humming a low and jagged tune against the night, moving toward the altar under the heavy hum of flickering lights. The chapel smelled of ancient dust and cheap carnations in a jar. We parked the dented fender next to someone else's stolen car. A man in ghostly polyester rose up from a folding chair, with plastic sideburns glued against his jaw and grease inside his hair. He hummed a melody that sounded like a prayer for the broken radio. We
traded rings of silver wire and watched the yellow shadows grow. Now the Keogh has blessed the Union with a trembling hand, in a kingdom made of cardboard and a house built on the sand. The license isn't dry and the witnesses are ghosts in the hallway. We gave our forever to a stranger who forgot what he had to say. Just a midnight fever and a vow we borrowed from a movie screen. Drunk and married by a shadow in a city that is never clean. The carpet has a pattern that could make a sober person blind. I'm looking for a reason, but there's nothing left for me to find. You're laughing at the way he shook his hips and called you little mama, while we tripped across the threshold of this holy kitchen drama. The dice are on the table and the cards are scattered on the floor. I can't remember what it was we thought we were looking for. The sunrise is a bruise forming slowly on the edge of the sky. The whiskey is a hollow truth and the truth is a beautiful lie. We signed our names in ink that's gonna fade before the noon is true, under the gaze of a man who sang us a tired and lonesome tune. Now the king has blessed the Union with a trembling hand, in a kingdom made of cardboard and a house built on the sand. The license isn't dry and the witnesses are ghosts in the hallway. We gave our forever to a stranger who forgot what he had to say. Just a midnight fever and a vow we borrowed from a movie screen. Drunk and married by a shadow in a city that is never clean. Hey, silver dust was swirling in the kitchen light. The jagged spark to kick the engine through the night. Your face was melting like a candle on the floor, while someone kicked a rhythm on the basement door. The clock was ticking backwards in a velvet haze. We burned the maps and set the calendar ablaze. A pocket full of lightning and a glass of sky. We didn't need a reason just to multiply, but the morning is a desert and the well is dry. There is a hollow where the memories used to lie. Whatever bridge we crossed is burned and gone to gray. The blacked out pages of a heavy Saturday. Not a single ghost remains to tell the tale. The anchor broke and we were blown beyond rail. The ceiling turned into a sea of liquid glass. We watched the shadows of the prehistoric past. A chemical parade across the living room. The flowers screaming just before they start to bloom. I remember laughter like a mazer on the tongue. The heavy ladder where the golden rungs were hung. Then the film snapped shut and left a jagged tear.
the sound of static hanging in the empty air. But the morning is a desert and the weather's dry. There is a hollow where the memories used to lie. Whatever bridge we crossed is burned and gone to gray. The blacked out pages of a heavy Saturday. Not a single ghost remains to tell the tale. The anchor broke and we were blown beyond the rail. The morning is a desert and the well is dry. There is a hollow where the memories used to lie. Whatever's bridge we crossed is burned and gone to gray. The blacked out pages of a heavy Saturday. Not a single ghost remains to tell the tale. And we were blown beyond the rail.
Desert dust is shaking off my boots. I kicked the dirt and pulled up all my roots. That city swallowed every dime I had, then gave it back and made the devil mad. I watched the spinning wheels of heavy chrome and knew it was the hour to head for home. The suitcase in the trunk is bulging wide with every lucky streak I held inside. I crossed the gravel with the stead I had, the wealthiest traveler in this barren land. Returning to you on my pink Cadillac, with all the gold that filled my velvet sack. The sunrise hits the hood and painted lines. I left the flashing bulbs and wooden signs. Returning to you on my pink Cadillac, I'm coming down the road and looking back. The leather seats are warm against my skin, a sovereign way for a sinner to begin. I saw the dealer blink and lose his place, while fortune drew a smile across my face. No more chasing shadows in the dark, I'm aimed straight for your gate in Quiet Park. The engine hums a low and steady song of all the nights I spent where I belong.